My identity, my perception of a stranger. Nothing defined for no danger. Here's fine mind. World inside of my mind. Language, image, pictures inside of the rhyme. Speaking for the word to the which I'm blind. For the pictures have no echo for the sounds of mine. For the impression of the logic, perception, and line. Keep leaking your threads and I'm falling behind the rhyme. For the code, the rhythm of the rhyme. For the question, everything to dissolve yourself for the warm impression you have to hold peeking out of questions. There's no one to will solve you for the hour confusion for the selling of a soul. Only you to your pain and suffering stuffed inside of me for the can't look near me for the see the real me hug me hell dab with the only the touching for the eating the only the pain for the come from out of my prison. Yo bursting out of your side of the prisons for the glow down for the rain for the everything for the flesh for the mankind for the sucking of every woodly boom to boom. Aligned out for the deep voices you're laughing you can be until those who have no golden vote for these to be me for the cleansing of the soul for the acid of the bones and they can find that. For the prince, for the silver, for the only the weather reveals and reels, and this beyond the tilted violins that span. Revolving for this to be the palace for the hall where you can find that rose candle flickering inside that lilac wall for the reflecting of millions of deflaggers who walls you shine. My identity, my perception of a stranger. Nothing defined for no danger. Here's fine mind. World inside of my mind. Language, image, pictures inside of the rhyme. Speaking for the word to the which I'm blind. For the pictures have no echo for the sounds of mine. For the impression of the logic, perception, and line. Keep leaking your threads and I'm falling behind the rhyme. For the code, the rhythm of the rhyme. For the question, everything to dissolve yourself for the warm impression you have to hold peeking out of questions. There's no one to will solve you for the hour confusion for the selling of the soul. Only you to your pain and suffering stuffed inside of me for the can't look near me for the see the real me hug me hell yeah with the only the touching for the eating with the only the pain for the come from out of my prison. Yo bursting out of your side of the prisons for the glow down for the rain for the everything for the flesh for the mankind for the sucking of every wooded boom to boom. Aligned out for the deep voices you're laughing you can be until those and have no golden vote for these to be me for the cleansing of the soul for the acid of the bones so they can find that. For the prince, for the silver, for the only the what that reveals and reels and these beyond the tilted violins that span. Revolving for this to be the palace for the hall where you can find that rose candle flickering inside that lilac wall for the reflecting of millions of deflaggers and walls you shine. This is beyond that for the brilliant desire, for the drop of water, for the dedicate yourself for what is the hard rain, for the minutes to hours, and this is so cold and maybe the scary reservoir you'll lay back for the members of the 19th to the 30s, and this is so vast and majestic for the pond of the rain tonight, for the hell low passionately you can find yourself for the refreshing as a gift, water down tenderly an environment for the loving yourself, for the finding your feeling you're there for exactly the place where you find you're reliving, you're reliving, you're present, you're present, your water resistance and only defy that feather midnight, broken apart for the water but came down so fast enough you can find that smashing home for the nut for the tree for the stuff for the crashing of the people that you can find out for the taking of life rich no poor. Separated as beloved when they cry for you, pray for you, and this is what happened to you. It must be done enough for the human nature to born to. Reminds you the flood of the Noah. Reminds you to be thinking what you've done and never known of. All for who has, oh heavens, and this is the holding of life until that pathetic morning.
There's no other alternative that you can come to conclude. Whoever has that for the anger, you can find that the mask of what happened last. It was only the planet for the boons, greater to your punishment. You can have that thunder with the earthquake you care upon, whose sons and daughters, who the continents and this to bring forth the weakest creature. You can hold that wind for the fire, water, the ice, and the spirits of the soul, the deepest with the sadness and you with the holds. I can't go to for the only time to learn that for skating of what you find with the grandeur, absent in the life of the day for the only the moonbeams. Softly show that for the best advantage for the what remains, the elegance of the long ago for this to be a very tactful refrain, highlighting faults and flaws and obvious the brights for the sunlight for the broken paints and the second doors and those hidden kindly hide behind the night for the forming for the gardens overgrown for their being deprived of care, dividing the walls of the heaping of the stone for the showing of what you can find through the brambles of glitter here and there for the children to walk by the way of the night. Daylight is distress to me for the singer, but the present for the author plight. Winter recalling for the used to be for the boys of the idea of the paradise for the something they used to women wish it was blind for the making of the sad to realize there's nothing else in the king of the club. Tear down for the place and there where he read the monstrous rhythm of the single to saving grace and to be the all selling yourself with the profitably disappearing without a trace, but retaining the memories of something that can't even ease the race. This is the hunger, the hopeless taste, the similar, the only that I can understand for the weary needs, the only contortions for the only defining your fame, for the endless, the picking over your consignment for the hundreds, and you can find the pen for the penance and the imaginary, none for the sin, the wandering off for the why they understand, you can wear this up. Tell your beads and wear because of that, for the nothing else of this define the crimson joy of flesh, but this is all that's wild, the only forgotten with the one in the glory, the crucifix, that cannot speak for the other, the innermost of this only the soul, for the desire and what you can find for the long. Untreaded out for the past and I draw.
There's no other alternative that you can come come to conclude. Whoever has that for the anger, you can find that. The mask and what happened last. It was only the planet for the boons. Greater to your punishment, you can have that. Thunder with the earthquake you care upon. Whose sons and daughter, who the continents and this to bring forth the weakest creature. You can hold that wind for the fire, the water, the ice, and the spirits in the soul, the deepest with the saddest and do what it holds. I can't. Not for the can't go to, for the only time to learn that, for the skating what you find with the grandeur. Absent the light for the day, for the only the moonbeams. Softly show that for the best advantage, for the what remains, the elegance for the long ago, for this to be a very tactful refrain. Highlighting faults and flaws and obvious, the brights for the sunlight, for the broken paints and the sucking doors, and those hidden kindly hide behind the night, for the forming, for the gardens overgrown, for their being required to care. Dividing the walls, and for the stone, for the show me what you can find through the brambles of people here and there, for the children who walk by the way of the night. Daylight, the distress, the need for the scene, but the present for the occupied. Whenever calling for the used to be for the boys and the idea of the paper that's really something they used to women wish it was learned for the making of the sad to realize there's nothing else that can go to tear down for the place and never erect the monsters the single for saving grace and for the all serving yourself in the proper disappearing without a trace containing the memories of something that can't even use to face. This is the hunger, the hopeless taste, the symptom, the only I can understand for the where it needs it, the only contortions with the only finding the fame, the endless living with the excitement, only thing with penance and repentance. One of them out to the white that is angry, where to say. Tell your beads and wear because it after nothing else of this define the crimson joy of flesh. But this is all too wild. The only forgot it with the honor and the glory, the crucifix. They cannot speak for the other, the innermost of this only the soul for the desire and what you can find for the bone. One treading out for the past and out all of that for the hunger after God. There's something that's mine. I can find mine for the going out to the door for the dude. Look for the view for the ending of it with a few days and not pinning for the mood. Craze and this will be the poem for the sad songs. You can find a short love story too for the name upon the moon. For this is the asking whether you define the shy sky green. This is fly so high enough that you want to meet the next remain silent. During the dawn, you were frozen to close your eyes and told what was filled with the tears. And this is the special consequences of the love that you thought, but they never experienced the only the shadow, the dream, and the only inquire for whom you can find responded to the hate. I am the not that for the during your stay of your preliminary. Trust in me, I know that for the cold nights. Cause I know the lioness and the loneliness and the trust in those that close and know my heart for the trusting in me, for the closing of the what that calls my soul, for the trusting in me, for the cause what I give.